In this video, we will be talking about reactants and products. In chemical changes, also called chemical reactions, one or more substances are changed into a different substance. We call the substances present at the start of the reaction reactants. We call the substances present at the end of the reaction the products. Depending on the chemical reaction, you can have one reactant or more than one reactant. You can also have one product or more than one product. Let's look at some chemical reactions and identify the reactants and the products. First, we'll look at the classic vinegar and baking soda reaction. There are two reactants in this reaction, vinegar and baking soda. When we combine them, we get a chemical change, and we know this because of the bubbles produced. The products in this chemical reaction include carbon dioxide, water, and sodium acetate. All of these are combined together in a mixture. Carbon dioxide is a gas, and we know that one of our products is a gas because of the bubbles. Another way that we know that one of the products is a gas is because we can capture it by putting a balloon on the top of the bottle we perform the reaction in. Here is a picture summarizing the reactants and products in this reaction. We can also look at reactants and products using particle diagrams. Here's the diagram for the vinegar and baking soda reaction. We have two reactants, acetic acid, which is the vinegar, and sodium bicarbonate, which is the baking soda. And we have three products. These are sodium acetate, water, and carbon dioxide. Here's another example. In this reaction between magnesium and oxygen, we have two reactants and one product, and we can see this in the particle diagram. The green spheres represent magnesium, and we are adding them to oxygen, represented by the red spheres, and those are our reactants. And we can see on the other side of the arrow that we have a new compound that has formed. This is magnesium oxide, and it is our product. Here's another example. In the decomposition reaction of water, decomposition means breaking down. There is one reactant, which is water, and there are two products, which are hydrogen and oxygen. We can also identify reactants and products in chemical equations. In a chemical equation, we use chemical symbols to represent our reactants and products. Each compound has its own chemical formula. For example, H2O is the chemical formula for water. Chemical formulas are made up of letters and numbers. The letters are the symbols for the chemical elements that are in the compound. The subscript, which is the number, and it's slightly shifted down, it tells us how many of each atom are in the compound. The subscript always refers to the element that is to the left of the subscript. Here are some examples. In H2O, which is water, we have two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. In magnesium oxide, which has the chemical formula MgO, we have one magnesium atom and one oxygen atom. In glucose, which has the chemical formula C6H12O6, we have 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms, and 6 oxygen atoms. And we will talk about chemical formulas in more detail in another video. When we write a chemical equation such as this one, the reactant or reactants always go on the left-hand side of the arrow. The product or products always go on the right-hand side of the arrow. If there is a plus, that tells us there is more than one reactant being combined or more than one product being made. The numbers in front of the chemical formulas tell you how many of each molecule there are in the chemical reaction, and these are called coefficients. And a single arrow tells us that the reaction goes in one direction. you should be able to look at an equation or a particle diagram or an actual chemical reaction and identify the reactant or reactants and the product or products.